What's up, family? Man, I want to share a sad story, a sad experience of mine. But man, it changed my life. It drastically changed my life. Excuse me. And you hear me saying all the time, everything is always working out for our good. Everything is always working out for our good. At the time of the situation, man, I had no concept how this was going to work out. I had no understanding how this was going to play out in my life. And yet, because of this circumstance, yet because of this situation, my life has drastically changed for the better. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. I want to say it was 1996. I was in the Air Force. I was a staff sergeant. I had people working for me. And I had this young man from, I want to say Guatemala, that worked for me. And I was a single parent taking care of my two oldest kids at that time. They were the only kids I had at that time. Excuse me. And this young man came to me and he showed me a picture of his sister. Family. Man, when I say she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever met, I never met her, but she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. Stay with me. I'm in the Air Force. I've traveled extensively overseas and throughout of America. You know what I mean? I've traveled extensively. And this young lady was the most drop dead gorgeous, the most beautiful lady I had ever seen in my entire life. Just, y'all get the point. You know what I mean? And so he showed me her picture and he said he wanted me to talk to her. My issues kicked in. Stay with me. I'm in the Air Force. I'm struggling. I'm a single parent. Don't get no help from anybody. You know what I mean? I'm a struggling single parent taking care of two kids. No help from their mom in any way, shape, or form. None. You know what I mean? And I'm struggling financially. And this young man wants me to talk to his sister. In my mind, stay with me, in my mind, my ego convinced me that he wanted me to talk to her because he wanted me to marry her, hook up with her, and bring her to the States. That's not what he said. He said he just wanted me to talk to her. But in my head, I heard, man, talk to her, hook up with her, bring her to the States. Again, that's not what he said. And I never reached out to her. He gave me her telephone number. He said, man, I think, you enjoy talking to her and all this other stuff. That's what he said. He didn't say anything about hooking up with his sister. He didn't say anything about marrying her sister so that she could become an American citizen or anything. He didn't say anything about that. But in my mind, that's what I heard. In my mind, this woman was way above my league. You know what I mean? Way out of my league. Way out of my league. I couldn't touch her. You know what I mean? I couldn't touch this lady. And it's like, I'm not reaching out to her. What do I got to offer her? You know what I mean? And I didn't say anything to him. I'm just thinking it to myself. She's way above me. I have nothing to offer her. I have two kids. I'm struggling financially. You know what I mean? How can I help her? How can I make her life better? I don't have anything to offer her. I'm struggling as it is. This is what my ego was telling me. Stay with me, family. I need you to go with me on this one. Okay? And so, because of my issues, I never reached out to her. Because of my insecurities, I never reached out to her. A few weeks later, he comes to work and he's bawling, just shook. And I go to him, it's like, You know, that's not his personality. That's not how he gets down in any way, shape, or form. And I go to him, I was like, what's wrong? What's going on? And he could barely talk. And he told me that his sister had committed suicide. And that broke my heart. I never spoke to her. It broke my heart. It dropped my heart to the floor. I was so depressed, so in a funk, just devastated that this beautiful young lady killed herself. Out of all the things I've gone through in my life, that's the one thing that hurt me the most. Out of all the things I've gone through in my life, that's the one thing that changed my life the most. That was the catalyst for who I am today. For all you that I've reached out to, or for all you that have reached out to me and that you believe that I've helped you, you believe that I've helped you through these videos, you believe that I've helped you through our counseling and coaching and mentoring sessions and all that other stuff, for all of you, it was because of her. It was because this young lady committed suicide that I am who I am. She's the reason why I am who I am. And why do I say that? Because it pained me so much. Because I finally understood what he was talking about when he said, I want you to talk to my sister. See, in my issues, my insecurities, my ego had me tripping. My ego had me thinking he wanted me to hook up with his sister and bring her to the States. What he was saying was, man, you have so much knowledge, you could help my sister. I believe you could help my sister. Talk to her. I didn't get that message from him because of my issues. My issues were a communication barrier. And so she passed. And from that point forward, you hear me talk about shadow work all the time. From that point forward, I made up in my mind, never again. Never again will I allow somebody to reach out to me and I not try to help them. Never again will I not deal with my issues and I allow my issues to be the reason why somebody didn't get the help that they needed. And from that point forward, I made a decision God, please help me deal with my issues. Not just deal with my issues, because I don't want anybody else to pass away because of my issues. She didn't pass away because of my issues. She passed away because that was her lot in life. And when I mean that all things work together for our good, we had a contract for me and her. You know what I mean? I never met this lady before, but prior to us coming here, our souls had contracts. And it was going to be her that was going to push the greatest growth and development in my life. It was going to be her that was going to challenge me and make me face all of my fears, all of my insecurities, all of my abandonment issues, all of my rejections, all of my broken hearts, every issue that I had I was consciously aware of. I was going to face them from that moment forward. She had to do what she had to do in order for me to get the results that I needed. She had to inflict that pain, the hurt, the sorrow to make me want to thrive and move forward in trying to help everybody that I could. She made me face my fears. She made me go in and do my shadow work. I was so afraid of being rejected by her. I was so insecure because I didn't think I had anything to offer her. I was so insecure because financially I was struggling. I was so insecure because I was a single parent, a struggling single parent. And back then in '96, you didn't really see too many fathers being single parents. And so I didn't think that anybody of her caliber would want anything to do with me. And so I realized that I had to grow up. I had to grow up. Here it is. I'm 26 years old at the time. 2 kids that I'm taking care of, 6 and 4 years of age. But I had to grow up emotionally. I had to grow up intellectually. I had to grow up spiritually. And this young lady's passing was the catalyst that kicked me in my butt to get me going, to get me to go deeper, to go deeper in my meditation, to go deeper in my shadow work. And because of that situation, I've helped people all over this country. I've helped and talked to people in different countries. This is not about me popping my collar or anything of that nature. That's superficial, that's petty. That's not me. You know what I mean? I'm sharing that to share with you. You never know what's going to be the end result of whatever it is that got you going on your journey. Because there's always some pain. It's always some hurt that's going to get you going, that's going to get you started. It's always pain that becomes your greatest catalyst to launch you into walking and living within your purpose. It's always pain. And so I share that with you because I want you to understand. I need you to understand. Don't dismiss your pain. Don't dismiss your suffering. Don't dismiss the things that have gone wrong in your life. Don't look at yourself as a failure. Because for the longest time, I felt like one. For the longest time, I couldn't forgive myself for not having the courage to call her and to talk to her. For the longest time, I couldn't forgive myself for not being willing to face my issues. For the longest time, I couldn't forgive myself because I blamed me for her passing away. It was my ignorance. It was my stupidity. It was my fear. It was my issues. It was my trauma and all that other stuff. That's what my ego told me. That's what my ego made me believe. And so I couldn't forgive myself. And as I continued my growth and development, I learned to harness that pain. I learned to harness that sorrow and make something beautiful out of it. And what I mean by that, man, all the pain attached to that lady passing, I learned to take that pain and use it as fuel to help me, to push me, and to drive me to get up and make videos every single day, to get up and talk to people, to encourage people, to inspire people, to motivate people, to challenge people. All of that comes from that pain. All of that comes from that experience. As traumatic as that was, as painful as that was, look at all the lives that have been helped. Look at all the lives that have been positively impacted. We can't change the past. We can't undo what we did. But we could take that energy and use it for the greater good for humanity. We could take those experiences and use them to bless humanity. We could take those experiences and that pain and that sorrow and transmute it into love and passion to help humanity, heal, to help humanity grow. Every one of us has something that in the beginning we wish we could undo. Every one of us has something in the beginning we wish, man, I hadn't did that, or that we regret. For the longest time, that was my only regret. And then I learned to see the bigger picture. I learned to understand the bigger picture. I learned to understand that had I not gone through that, I wouldn't have the passion, the drive that I have now. To be a beacon of hope, to be a beacon of joy, to be a beacon of love. My hope and prayer is that you understand the catalyst that's pushing you forward on your growth and development journey. That you understand the lessons, you understand the experiences, and that you're able to harness that energy and use it for the greater good of humanity. Don't allow those experiences to make you bitter. Allow them to make you better. Not bitter, better. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.